Well, we're halfway through our first season in charge here at Lokomotive Leipzig, and so far only one team has defeated us this season. Today, we get a chance for revenge. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of the Leipzig Loko here on Sean Does FM with Lokomotive Leipzig. I hope you are doing well, and coming up today we are picking up right where we left off the end of yesterday's episode, taking on two teams up near the top of the Regional Liga Nordost table. And behind us, first up we take on the only team so far this season that has beaten us in Energie Cottbus, and off the back of that we take on 4th place Chemnitzer back at our home stadium. So if you're looking forward to these two games in today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this new series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated, but obviously with this being our first game off the back of where we did leave things at the end of yesterday's episode, if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. There's not too much to catch you guys up on, especially at a semi-professional club like this one, but we'll have a look at our opposition in today's episode, and also just a quick update on the table, 6 points clear of the team who we are taking on in the first game of today's episode. If we can win this one, and that would make it halfway through the season, if we can get a 9-point gap on those guys, we would already put ourselves in a very nice position to be going up to the Free Liga for next season. But first up today, as I said, the only team so far this season who have beaten us, that was a few days ago, felt like a harsh 2-0 defeat. Hopefully we can get some revenge, even though this one is going to be away from home, and also we are dealing with a few suspensions for this first game of today's episode. And then off the back of that, we take on Chemnitzer for the first time this season. They currently find themselves in a very good patch of form and are 4th on the league table. So 2 tough games coming up for us in today's episode, but hopefully we can continue our good form since the last time we did take on Energie Cottbus and continue to have a good gap on top of the Regional Liga Nordost table. And we'll come back shortly with the team sheets for this first game of today's episode as we look for revenge away from home against Energie Cottbus. And here are the team sheets for this first game of today's episode. There are Energie Cottbus. They are still going with a 4-3-3. They come into this one in quite a good patch of form as well, but hopefully we can turn things around from previously this season. In terms of us, just one change, that suspension to our striker in Ziani off the back of that red card against Karl Zajcena in yesterday's episode. So it does mean that Zizek is starting up front in his place. Thought we had a few more suspensions, but that must just be players sitting on yellow cards, maybe foreshadowing what might happen for the second game of today's episode. But hopefully, as I said, we can get some revenge and extend our gap on top of the league table. And it's taken a long time for the first highlight in this game. We have well and truly been on top stats-wise, but it's taken until the 40-minute mark for the first highlight in our favour, and it's Leon Heinke far post. Tilgen puts that one at that far post, and Heinke starting to score a few of those goals now from set piece. He runs over to the corner to celebrate in front of our away fans, and thankfully, you'll see the stats shortly, we have well and truly been on top in this game, and we do eventually, just before halftime, take a 1-0 lead. Now down the other end, decent free kick there from Energie Cottbus. Interesting there from the goal scorer in Heinke. Turn that one towards goal for some reason. Thankfully though, we do clear it out for a corner. We praise the boys, so hopefully this highlight does not continue. Indeed, it does get cut off, and hopefully we can get into the sheds with that 1-0 lead, albeit this is a much more dangerous position for a free kick to our opposition. They went close before, and this time there's no chance there for Issa Dogan, and Warling bangs that one top right corner, and unfortunately we give the opposition a few chances from free kicks off the back of getting that goal from a corner down the other end. To be fair, even if the goalkeeper see himself up a bit closer to the middle of the goal there, don't think he would have been stopping that one right into that top right corner. Also, Ricardo Grimm picks up a late yellow card in the first half, so a bit of a sour end to that one, despite the fact for most of that half we were well and truly on the front foot, but some late free kicks do mean that Energie Cottbus do grab an equaliser. We'll make some changes here at halftime. Grimm is on a yellow card. We'll take him off for Julian Weigel, and also Saluski at left back, only on a 6.4. Linus Zimmer can come on for him. We'll tell our boys not playing well enough in that first half, even though for most of it we were doing well, but certainly that end was not ideal, and we'll get things back underway, locked up at 1-1. And a very, very early highlight here in the second half off the back of that rev up we did give our boys at half time, and thankfully it has worked. A ball put into the mixer there, and our centre back Mike Edelzeta gets his first goal of the season, bangs that one into that bottom left corner, and thankfully we weren't behind for long at all in terms of game time, the 46th minute, at the same time that Energie Cottbus scored in the first half, and we take our lead back yet again for a header and make it 2-1. And nearly up to the hour mark, just that one highlight so far in the second half, which did result in a goal in our favour through Edelzeta, but Pfeffers picked up a yellow card, also on a poor rating, a 6.2, so we'll take him off for Ogbidi with a half hour left. And we've just made our way into the last 20 minutes of this game. It's been a pretty quiet second half so far, especially off the back of that early goal, which we did score through Edelzeta, but here Energie Cottbus do start to try and do something here with the ball, looking to play out from the back, albeit they are starting to camp their way inside our half, albeit we're doing well here to make sure that most of the time they are having to try and go to the back. We get the ball back briefly there, but unfortunately try and play a ball over the top, can't quite link up with a teammate down that left-hand side. So again, Cottbus here will get a chance to play out from the back, albeit this time from a slightly deeper position. And yet again, the defenders here are on the ball, but wonderful work there from Weigl to get that ball back for us, back for a Tilgan. 1-2, he will get the ball here, great chance, and beats the goalkeeper at his near post. Maybe we'll wait for the replay. The goalkeeper might be doing better there, you'd expect, but still some good play there, and Weigl gets a deserved goal after he did get the ball back for us there, right on the halfway line. Good 1-2, nice lofted pass there from the left winger at Tilgan. The goalkeeper, as I said, probably should do better there from pretty much point blank range, but that is a good goal, and that makes it 3-1 with just over 15 minutes left. And very shortly off the back of us making it 3-1, now it is Energie Cottbus here. Will try and find a way back into this game in these last 15 minutes. They have the ball here just on the edge of the box. Really good chance here for Hoffman. Thankfully, though, scoops that one over the bar, and a ton of space there inside the box. Still 3-1 up. Coming up to 10 minutes left, and it might be a good time for us here to make our last couple of substitutions. We've got 3 players out there on red hearts, albeit Zizek we don't really have a replacement for on the bench, so it does make things a bit easy. We'll take off one of the goal scorers in Heinke for Piplica in that DM role, and also a Tilgan yet again plays well, gets an assist. Dom Brower will come on for him at left wing with a 3-1 lead with 10 minutes to go. And shortly off the back of making those last substitutions, another highlight here does stay, and we try and get something going here down this right-hand side. Can we make it 4-1? In fact, this might be better. That is a disgraceful tackle there from Taylor. That should be a straight red card. The referee takes his time, and Timmy, he sees red. That could actually be quite big in this title race, because now the gap will go out to 9 points. We'll go attacking for the latter stages of this game, but that could also mean that Energie Cottbus might be prone to dropping points in their next game as well. We could end up in today's episode building a big gap on these guys down in second place on the league table. Nothing happens off the back of that late red card, but that just compounds the misery for Energie Cottbus in front of their home fans. And I think it's fair to say we got revenge well and truly with a 3-1 win. It did feel harsh the first time that we played these guys that we did not win that game, thankfully, away from home, even though we only slightly had the better of things this time. We do pick up a 3-1 win, and as I said, that does mean now we will extend our gap on top of the table to a very comfortable 9 points, and hopefully we can continue that and maybe even extend it a little bit more with the second game. In today's episode, we'll just go forward a little bit more and just check in on our opposition for the second game in today's episode and what they did, and just see what the rest of the table does look like. But I'm pretty confident in saying that not much would have changed in terms of the title race, if there even is one at this point. Halfway through the season, we have a 9-point gap, and coming up next, we take on 4th place Chemnitzer, who come into this one off the back of a 1-1 draw away against bottom half of the table, Griefspeld. And we are back with the second game of today's episode and the team sheets. We've been forced into one change here. Unfortunately, Ricardo Grimm has picked up a suspension for too many yellow cards. That means that Weigl does come into the midfield alongside Abdullah Mane. Also, Ziani is back. We're going to start him. Zizek only okay in that previous game. So 2 changes from that first game in today's episode, but hopefully we can still do a decent job here against what looks like a quite defensively minded Chemnitzer. And a much earlier highlight in the second game of today's episode, but yet again it is a corner in our favour, albeit this time at the 10-minute mark. Yet again we go looking for Leon Heinke this time at the near post, and he yet again grabs the opener through a corner. As I said before, we're now starting to do a lot better from these set pieces, and yet again that is a good start for us, albeit this time happens a lot earlier than in that first game of today's episode. We take a 1-0 lead at the 10-minute mark, and off the back of that might be a chance for us here to grab an early cushion goal. Weigl starts to make his way forward. What can he do? Gets inside the box. He will look to square this, no doubt, for a teammate. Zianidia does get a shot off, but unfortunately that one is blocked. And I dare say, knowing Football Manager, that might have been that highlight. And at the 12-minute mark, we do still hold a 1-0 lead. In fact, it does continue. Decent chance there for Abdullah Mane, but unfortunately blasts that one wide, but still got off to a good start in this one. 1-0 up, just shy of the 20-minute mark. And that first half was the complete opposite of the first game. In today's episode, we go into the sheds with a 1-0 lead this time. All the action happening early in the half, and off the back of that, not much throughout the rest of it, albeit though based on stats, well and truly the team on the front foot on this one. Double-figure shots compared to our opposition, who so far have not got a single one off. We'll tell the guys they're doing well, but are capable of better, and hopefully we can grab a cushion goal and make sure we can pick up 3 points here as we get the second half underway. And yet again, it only takes a few minutes here in the second half for us to get our next highlight, thankfully, because it's the first one in quite a while in this game. Chemnitzer, they're trying to get their first attack going in this game, but they try and play a ball over the top down that left-hand side, and Saluski did cut it out. Now trying to get something going down the right-hand side, and to be fair, they're doing a decent job here of trying to pin us in, but good work there from Ernesto, and now Erzeta gets a chance to switch this one out to left-hand side, and to Saluski, who did get the ball back for us. He picks out a Tilgan, who briefly gets in behind. Some good work there from Saluski to keep that ball, albeit good tackle there, and we do lose it, but then Ernesto does win it back for us. It's a good fight from us here to keep this ball, and yet again from Ernesto there, who did look like he might lose out on it for a second. Now Fefa inside the box, far post for a Tilgan. His header comes off the post, but he pokes home the rebound. As I've said a few times so far this week, he has been a real revelation for us in that left wing position, and it's good as well because we don't have the wage budget to get a left winger like we were planning to, but he has been really good both in terms of goal scoring and with creating goals, and nice and early in the second half, he makes it 2-0 Loko Leipzig. And 10 minutes into the second half, we get our next highlight. Yet again, a corner here in our favour, looking for Heinke at that near post. This time Chemnitzer do get their head on the ball, but they clear it, and we do win it back. Now Weigl, just outside the box, does quite well. Yet again, we do there to keep position. Now Ernesto plays one over the top yet again for Weigl. Very nice deflection. It's a very similar goal to the one he scored in that previous game against Energie Cottbus. Yet again, it is the third goal, and that should wrap this one up fairly early in the second half. It makes it 3-0 Ernesto. Nice ball over the top, and Weigl, I think that takes a touch off the defender there. Yet again, beats the goalkeeper at his near post, albeit this time don't think the goalkeeper is quite as much at fault. And 3-0 with a half hour left in this one. And while we are here, Heinke is down to a red hat, but look, it can come on for him off the back of us making it 3-0 Loko Leipzig. And just about into the last 20 minutes of this game, just checking on some player fitness with this quite comfortable lead, and Lucas Search, one of our centre-backs, is down to a red hat, so David Urban can come on for him for these last 20 minutes with that 3-0 lead. And still 3-0 up with 10 minutes left in this one, and yet again it might be time for us to just give some players a rest in this one. As you can see, Mike Eaglezeta is down to a red heart. Linus Zimmer apparently can cover centre-back, so he'll get some game time for these last 10 minutes, as will Zizek. Yet again, our strikers not quite performing as well as the rest of the team, and as well as that, might not be the worst idea here to give Abdullah Mane a rest, only on a 6.8. In terms of bench options, though, of course, with that suspension to Ricardo Grimm, it does mean we don't have a proper central midfielder on our bench. Apparently, Zufak is the best option according to the highlight there, but I actually think that maybe Dom Glover would be a better option, seeing as he actually can play as an attacking midfielder. So that will be our last substitutions. Still 3-0 up with 10 minutes left. And we're entering the last few minutes of the second game of today's episode. This one has been a very comfortable 3-0 win. As you can see, our opposition only have got the one shot off over those 94 minutes. It was a well and truly comprehensive display, and we pick up a 3-0 win. Henke yet again with a corner in the first half, which he did get his head on the end of, and then Tilgan and Weigl scored in the second half and make sure that we pick up a comfortable 3-0 lead. So it does mean at least our lead on top of the league table will still be 9 points, depending on what Energie Cottbus did do in their game off the back of that 3-1 win that we did pick up over them in the first game of today's episode. Having a quick look, they left it late, but they did come from behind to pick up a 2-1 win, so it does mean that still we are 9 points clear on top of the Regional Liga Nordos table, just over halfway through the season, and then a big gap back to the likes of BFC Dynamo, Glenki, Karl Zeiss Jena, and the likes of Chemnitzer, as well as our Leipzig rivals in Chemie Leipzig. But at the moment, just over halfway through the season, in prime position to be getting promoted off the back of 2 wins in today's episode, including that 3-0 one there over Chemnitzer. And back in the inbox off the back of those 2 games in today's episode, had to deal with suspensions in both of those games that thankfully picked up fairly comfortable wins, especially that second one, only the 1 shot overall from our opposition. Also some nice revenge over Energie Cottbus for earlier in the season, picking up a 3-1 win over those guys, and it does mean now we are in a very good position just over halfway through the season, 9 points clear of those guys with a further 7 points back to the rest of the chasing pack. I think that will do it for this week of the Leipzig Loko. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this new series here on the channel and are looking forward to next week, where I think we are going to wrap up this first season in charge, because I don't think now there's too many teams that we will fear throughout the rest of the season, having already played Energie Cottbus twice, and looking forward at the month of December and our last game in November, taking on teams all down in the bottom half of the table. So I think we're going to come back in January, where the schedule, once we do hit the new year, does start to ease up significantly for another Leipzig derby. Again, we'll take on Chemie Leipzig, currently 7th in the league, this time though away from home, and also another potentially tricky game away from home as we do take on Glenki. Those are 2 games which could be a little bit tricky, seeing as they are away from home. But as you can see from there, the schedule is quite light. We only play 2 games a month once we do get into January, so I don't imagine it will take us too long to get through the rest of the season next week. And it does mean that hopefully we're expecting now to get promoted with our position in the league up to the Free Liga, that we can maybe get stuck into a transfer special. Also, I think if we do get promoted to the Free Liga, that would be the turning point where this club would go from semi-professional to professional, but that would mean a transfer special, which could be quite interesting, especially as this time, unlike when I last went from a semi-professional to professional status with a club which was Volsunga in a Builder Nation, that club had been in European group stage football for a few years at that stage. That is not the case with this club, and the financial balance is nowhere near as good, so this could actually be quite tricky if this club does go fully professional come the start of next season, if we do jump up to the Free Liga, as you would expect. But I'd suggest at some stage next week we will be doing a transfer special. It'll be happening anyway, but I imagine it will be moving up to the Free Liga unless we bottle things spectacularly throughout the rest of the season, and from there we'll see how we do get on up in the 3rd tier of German football. But as I said before then, just need to make sure we can close this out in our last 16 games of the season. But based on our form so far, you would like to think that is something that we can do. If you did enjoy today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well until the start of next week, where we do play a Leipzig derby yet again against Chemie Leipzig, as well as take on Glenki away from home. Thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Thought I could do this, left with the sadness I